Okay, first of all, I'd like to thank Ali Taplazov for their allowances as a sponsor, for their support as a sponsor to the summer school. Without their contribution, it would be impossible for us to maintain this organization here. So we are very grateful for their very kind contribution. I have known Ali, I guess, for more than 7 or 8 years, and we met at plagiarism conferences for the first time, and since then we have good relationship with him. Ali, in this summer school program, we have 6 lecturers from 6 different countries, including Canada, United States, Sweden, United Arab Emirates, Turkey, and UK. And we received applications from 10 different countries, from 19 students. However, some of the students were unable to attend the summer school program, but we are very happy to welcome students from 4 different countries, including Azerbaijan.
Great.
I asked them whether they know you. Indeed, they don't know you, but they are familiar with strike plagiarism. Now, hopefully you will be able to give some brief information about your system, about your tool to the participants of the summer school. Okay, the stage is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much that you are organizing such trainings and conferences. And well, basically, it's very important to promote academic integrity in all the regions, also in Middle East and Europe. And at the same time, we are like one of the oldest anti-plagiarism system provider in Europe, in the world. In Europe, we started in 2002, so 20 years ago. And we keep developing our system based on the needs of the market, of course, university. We cooperate with many ministries. Just recently, we won a tender with Ministry of Education and Science of Bulgaria. And now our system will be used in all Bulgarian universities. And this is a big honor for us. It was an open tender. And at the same time, we actively cooperate with many universities in Europe. And myself and our team, we are doing our best also to promote academic, not only system, but also academic integrity practices. As you know, if you buy the car, and if you don't know how to drive the car, you will probably have an accident, right? Either or someone who don't know how to drive the car will probably hit you. So that's why in all the regions, proper using of anti-plagiarism system is one of the key issues. Because what you are discussing are procedures, policies, etc., right? Best practices, but it's also important how you use anti-plagiarism system. How much time do I have, in fact?
You have 30 minutes.
30 minutes, okay. So I have 20 minutes left, yeah?
Yeah, we start a bit late, so we can give a few minutes extension for you, okay?
It's okay.
No worries.
I just have one question. Why do you have mask? You still have mandatory of having mask in Turkey?
No, it's not mandatory here. Indeed, the students are not wearing mask. I am the only one wearing it because my wife is expecting a baby, so I'm just trying to prevent her from any accident.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. So you are taking care of everyone, yeah. So the thing is, we started in Poland in 2002, but then we extended it new regions, and we noticed that at many regions, there is no connection between proper use of system or proper use of practices and mandatory. At many countries, they say, for example, we have to use anti-plagiarism system. We have to check the paper. But at the same time, they don't know how to use the system. Many of the professors or universities abusing using the system. For example, they just look at the percentage. Yeah, they don't look at the it's a Sonia over there. They look at the percentage of the borrowing text. For example, I will show you on the screen. Yeah, this percentage of the borrowing text, borrowed text. But they don't look, in fact, at the whether the quotation mark was added. Yeah, whether it was the text was credited, yeah, properly, and added the credit added to the bibliography. So what happens is that anti-plagiarism system is, and you probably confirm it, is used improperly, not in the right way. Yeah, it means that one university, for example, one university buying the system, because they have to, it's a requirement, maybe law, legislation, and internal procedures. But when it comes to the student to evaluate the paper and say, like, what happened, what teacher should do, they just look at the percentage, whatever is borrowing, and if it's passed the percentage, let's say some threshold value, then the paper is accepted. They don't look inside of the text. I mean teachers, yeah, and also procedures behind the teachers, and also university behind the procedures, yeah. They don't look at the text to work with student and to guide the student, because what is expected from the system is used in the control measures. So the anti-plagiarism system is used for control measures, to control, pass or not pass. Yeah, and it's not our regions, Europe and former Soviet countries, is not it's everywhere. It's not only it's also in US, it's also in Western Europe, and it's a big problem because the system itself should be used for guiding student how properly to correct the paper, where student made a mistake, show the mistake, explain the reason, not because the system itself should be used for teaching purposes, guiding purposes. If you explain to the young driver how to properly drive the car, right? And you have to show, in fact, you have to explain, okay, in front we have a street light, you have to stop because you can hit someone. And the same way should be treated anti-plagiarism system. I mean, you are probably future professors, and this is what expected from you. Whenever you use anti-plagiarism system, don't try to simplify process, but try to use system to help students. Whatever procedures are, we need to use the system for positive purposes, yeah, to help student to make he will be future specialist at the market, yeah. If he doesn't really understand what you expect for him, because whenever he writes the paper, he looks that my percentages of originality should not be that high. No, it's not important. It's important that he would paraphrase properly, analyze, would be able to write someone's idea in his own way. That's the biggest problem, yeah, that we face. That students cannot display someone's idea in his way. That's why they have copy-pasted. So in our system, we created, facing this problem, we created few functionalities that are basically raising those issues. For example, the paraphrase that shows how for example, the means work best. So if the teacher tries to understand, okay, so this fragment was copied from some source, okay, but but some fragments are underlined. It means that these fragments were paraphrased, changed, amended, yeah, and the teacher can see how the fragment looks at the source. Or at the sources means work best, but he changed it to works best. So basically, he took the fragment, did some slight changes, minute to minutes. Colleges have, colleagues have, yeah, to recognize, you know, he did it in the way, or she did it in the way to, so the system would not catch a similarity, which is not idea. The idea is so that the student would, whenever a student using someone's text, would write it in his own way, paraphrase, paraphrase. That's why we created this paraphrase option to show teachers what was amended and how this text looks at the text. Another tool that we developed is showing how the fragment looks like, how the fragment, where the fragment is within the source. We found that teachers are challenging to find the fragment inside of the source, to compare the fragments and figure out, okay, whether the, for example, quote or reference to the author was properly added. Yeah, that's why we created a tool to highlight. We take this fragment, we highlight in yellow, we extract the source and we highlight in yellow, so that the teacher could compare the fragments and see, for example, whether the fragment belongs to some other author, and your student, you know, credited it to some other author, whether those authors are the same people, yeah, or if they're different, why? Maybe this author was wrong, yeah. Also, we developed a tool that allows for cross-checking. As long as I know it's only us who have it, we have a practice that sometimes teachers are writing some theses, assignments, whatever, on one subject. Subject is one, lots of students writing their essays, and they're copying from each other. Sometimes, not always. Sometimes they copy. This is normal. But what we expect from students, they would not copy from each other, but they would show some individual work. That's why we created a tool when there are few students, our student X, for example, there are different students, and we can show, I will show you a better example. There are a few students and our student within one assignment. This is one assignment. And we can see what fragments found as similar in two different papers. So we have different papers, and we can find out what fragments were actually found equal. And we can click and see they're highlighted in yellow, sorry, in blue. And so this is Nick and Jack John, two texts, and these are found as similar. They are not yet at the database. It's a key point. They're not yet at the database, but we can find a similarity among one assignment written for one subject. Yeah. What is also important to say that in our system we created a very quite interesting tools that allow prevention of manipulation. For example, white characters, microspaces, spreads, etc., etc. I will give a better example. So white characters means that some characters were added between the words and highlighted in white. Because for machine, the character is at the place and it's not the same text. Yeah, stay ahead of detection. If you put the dots between, it's not the same text. So the system, we developed a tool that allows system to recognize not only the text, but also the color of the text, and also the fonts of the different colors. And in case if the color of the font is different than the word has in between, then we detect it, we remove it, then we search for similarity and put it back, and show you that at this place we have a white character. And I would say white character is very popular in Eastern Europe. One of the most popular ways of that happens. What we also do, what we develop, and I would say it's one of the, especially for the scientific papers, one of the most important tools that we created is the tool that allows to find similarities in translation. We got lots of requests from Germany, Spain, Poland, Romania, Bulgaria, Ukraine, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, that we have suspiciousness, we suspect that some of our teachers and also professors are using articles, publication, even theses. They're translating to our language, and this is how they do it, defend or whatever, and publish. It was already few theses that, for example, in Azerbaijan, where I'm originally from, I had, we were contacted by the commission that is dealing with this degrees, and they found, for example, like in economic university, 4 PhD students were captured on translation of the thesis. Rector called me and said, like, we have a catastrophe, you know. Our 4 PhD that translated their theses. Try to create some option that we can catch them before commission catches them, you know. Yeah. But there's the thing, if you raise students improperly, at the end, you know, you will have a student who is not a scientist, a young scientist, but the person who wants to, you know, who, I don't know how those students studied for so many years and came to the position of the moment of the defense of the PhD, but the tool works. That's what I want to say. And you can choose like around 100 different languages, also Turkish, English, Italian, Greek, Georgian, whatever language, and translate it back. Chinese, for example, yeah, and translate it back. Once you translated it, because the tool is using special mechanism of machine learning. So whenever it makes mistake, it learns on it and develops. It uses not only machine learning, but at the same time a paraphrase. So it is searching for. I will try to find you an example of it. It's searching for the text, and then first it translates the text, and then after translation, after translation, it searches for the similarity taken into account, for example, different English Spanish. Let's have a look. So this is the text. Download original file. So I will be opening the text for you, if you don't mind. These are the CVs. Sorry. So this is the text, and let me show you. It's in Spanish, and this is translated text in the report. So you can see that the text was translated also using different text changes. So some of the texts were like paraphrased, and this is how una, you can see it was paraphrased. And whenever you found anything, we highlight it, yeah, and we highlighted in the source that this was used from that source. So this is the tool that we developed. It supports many languages and became quite popular among the scientific people. Maybe you have any questions. So it would not be only monologue, but I would be happy to. If you have any questions on this functionalities.
Indeed, when we refer back to the earlier section of your presentation, you briefly refer to the importance of interpreting text matching software similarity reports. This is a very important skill that we are trying to develop here. And in our summer school program, we specifically devoted a session for the interpretation of text matching software similarity reports, because not only students, but professors, as you already acknowledged, they sometimes give priority only to percentages rather than checking the similarities and understanding whether they are due to plagiarism concerns or not. So this is very important, and it is good to see that as a text matching software vendor, you give priority to teaching staff, academic staff and students, and increasing their awareness on this. Now, I'd like to ask our students here whether they have any contribution, any comments, or any questions so far relating to strike plagiarism.
I can make a comment if I may.
Yes, please. Sardar.
Okay. Hello, Mr. Tamazov. I'm Temel Sardar, one of Salim Hoca's PhD students, who is obviously interested in academic integrity. And with all these features you kindly showed us, I'm sure instructors can interpret student papers more correctly instead of just checking this similarity percentages, as Salim Hoca also mentioned. And I think this in turn will enable them to use such similarity detection softwares for educative, instructional purposes. I mean, by giving valuable feedback useful feedback to students, instead of just detecting plagiarism in student papers and punishing them. And in short, therefore, I'm pretty sure that your program will empower both students and teachers or instructors in higher education in keeping integrity in their scholar works. So thank you for your endeavors and nice presentation.
Thank you. Thank you for the nice words. But if you let me, I forgot to add one point regarding the translated plagiarism, is that we noticed that some universities are trying to use the translated text for evaluating paper. And maybe I can ask you a question, if you don't mind, all of you. How proper is evaluate the text being translated? So you have original text, you have translated text, and original text. You look at the text and you don't find anything, some slight changes, and you have some slight mistake that you pay attention to, and you have translated text where you find, for example, some similarities like you see on the screen. What would you do with translated text? With similarity report of translated text? How would you evaluate it?
Ali, maybe I can respond to this question, because I remember a case, a similar case that I witnessed. A PhD student submitted a thesis, and then it was revealed that after getting the degree for the student, it was revealed that the thesis indeed was written in English in Japanese context. However, the student copied the thesis and then translated it into Turkish. In addition to translation, also the student adapted the text as if it is taking place in Turkey. So translation from English to Turkish, adaptation from Japanese context to Turkish context. And then the student got the degree. However, later it was revealed that it was translation plagiarism. And after the investigations, the student, the university got the degree back from the student. However, at that time, for example, to my knowledge, there was no evidence from the text matching software similarity report regarding translation plagiarism.
Mhm. So we receive every month a few, like a number of such cases, and the question, what to do with those papers? You guys, do you know that? Do you feel the difference? There is a difference: original text and translated text. Is it the same text? It's not the same, right? It's not translated text. Is not original text. That's whole issue. If you evaluate the paper and you are evaluating translated text, it's not original text. And translated text is translated based on some algorithm. You can translate it in one way, and I can translate it in a different way, and machine can translate it in some third way. You know, some similarities can be found and cannot, can be and cannot, you know. And there is still a legal gap what to do with the translated text, unless professor, specialist, expert said, I guarantee, like this is the source and this is translation, whatever translation you do, you know, it's still the same text, right? Because the idea is taken from this book. I don't need translation to understand that this idea is taken from that text, right? So again, we had debates with some rectors in different countries, and they all came to one opinion that translated text is not original text and cannot be treated in the same way, but at the same time, we cannot exclude the possibility that a person translated original text and use it as its own, right? What to do in such case? Again, as was said before, and translated text can be treated based on the procedures of the university, and if the expert can confirm, improve, even anti-plagiarism system is not needed. This is the only what I wanted to. And if you guys have more questions, feel free.
Thank you for the further clarification regarding the case, and also, as you already acknowledged, you now have new collaboration with the Ministry of Education in Bulgaria. So this is very important achievement. I mean, you are not specifically addressing a single institution, but maybe you can have an impact as strike plagiarism. You can have an impact on national level policies in Bulgaria relating to academic integrity promotion. So this is very important achievement. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And this is what actually Minister of Education of Bulgaria expects from us. So we would, because anti-plagiarism system doesn't solve the problem, right?
Yes, exactly. We need support, specifically pedagogical support, to maximize our benefits from such systems.
Yeah, but you at the same time, if you have procedures, you cannot move forward without anti-plagiarism system. You still need some tool. You need machine to come from point A to point B.
Yes, we need them. We need carefully planned policies to implement them in our systems. So, I'd like to thank you for being here today and informing us about your system. We are looking forward to our future collaboration. If you have any materials that you wish to share with our students, you can email them to me and then I can share them with our students.
Sure,
Okay.
we will. Thank you so much. Have a
Please
nice day.
take good care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.